All right, so today we start our trade down 11,000, and I'm going to show you how to recover, how to maintain your calm and stay composed, and ultimately, win or lose, show you how are we going to deal with this. So I shorted a little bit early here, knowing that I was a little early. I shorted right here first, then I added some right here, and now we're currently seeing Ethereum is just slightly overshooting the top level. Now, what do you notice about the top in Ethereum? Well, it was right here. Look, you had the top level, then you had a slight overshoot past the top level. Okay, so this is the same pattern right here, except this was actually a harder pattern. Why? I'll show you why in just a sec. But what we notice this time is look at the volume divergence here. Okay, so as we approach this level, we are approaching it on much weaker volume. And so that gives us an increased probability of reversing lower. Whereas on this example here, where we really dumped off, you actually had an increase in volume, right? So look at this top, and then as it reaches the next top, it actually increases in volume. So last time, this resulted in a drop, and this time we actually have a bearish divergence, which is going to increase the probabilities of a drop right here, which would then be a lower high from what we believe to be the top. Okay, and so we're also using Bitcoin to take this trade as a correlation. And so what you see in Bitcoin is it has been in what we call the chop bucket, right? Meaning it's chopping up and down, up and down, up and down all day, all day, all day. Okay, and so what the chop bucket will make you think, what the consolidation periods like this will make you think, they'll think when it goes up, you're going to think, oh, it's finally going to break out higher, right? And then when it goes down, it's going to make you think, oh my God, this time we're finally going to break lower. Okay, but really, it's not doing shit. It just stays in the chop bucket, right? So it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And so when you get to the top of the chop bucket, that is not the time to be panic selling your position. That's the time to be shorting when you're at the top of the chop bucket, okay? And so that's what we're doing, understanding that Bitcoin is near the top of the chop bucket. And so Ether, or assuming that we stay within the chop bucket, then Ether is not going to break out higher. You see what I mean? Because all these things are correlated together. If Bitcoin can't break out higher, then in 90% of cases, Ether is also not going to break out higher, which also coincides with this being a lower high, because we believe that this right here was the short-term top. So we could set something like this right here, the all-time high, and then this could be the lower high somewhere around here, and then we can head much lower. Now, you might be thinking, Alex, you're down $12,000. Don't you want to cut the loss? Don't you want to, mitigate some risk here? And so let me unpack this and explain this to you. So, okay, we're losing $12,000 right now, but why would we be okay with that? Well, it's because we have the potential to make 50,000 plus, right? We can go to the calculator here and let's just see for ourselves here. So 52,000 contracts with an entry at 47.53, and my first target is around 4,600, right? And so, see, we're risking around $12,000 to make at least $40,000. So from a risk to reward standpoint, this is a very worthy trade, despite, it may be a little scary for some people when they see they're in the red, but you have to understand, you can lose 3 of these, right? You can lose $12,000 3 times. And all it takes is for you to win the 4th one, and that makes up for all 3 losses if you take this kind of a risk-to-reward setup. You see what I mean? And so a lot of people, they have a hard time because they get emotional during times like these. They start to doubt themselves, question themselves when they're in the red. But it's just about the charts, and it's about risk-to-reward, and it's about staying level-headed. And so, like I said, Bitcoin's in the chop bucket. If it's getting to the top of the chop bucket, then we know that crypto is not about to break out higher, assuming the chop bucket stays intact, right? And assuming we stay within the chop bucket, right? So the higher you get within this range, the more aggressive you actually want to be on the short side. And so for that reason, we do not believe Ethereum will break out higher here. And that is why we remain confident in this short here. So yeah, guys, walking you through that process. Hopefully that makes sense, and we're going to give it a little time here and make the best of this, okay? Because, like I said, if Bitcoin stays in the chop bucket, that means what? Bitcoin's going to have to return from the top of the range all the way down to the range. Do you know what's going to happen if Bitcoin returns to the bottom of this chop bucket, right? The bottom of the range. What's going to happen is Ether is going to drop down to at least 4,600, 4,620, right? Which means we're going to make at least $40,000, assuming the chop bucket stays intact. And guess what? The chop bucket, right, this consolidation period has a very high probability of that, because what most people do, they make the mistake of thinking, oh my God, this time we're finally going to break out higher. Nope, right back down. This time we're finally going to break lower. Nope, come back up. This time we're finally going to break out higher. Nope. And so it just goes sideways, and it mind tricks you, right? It tricks you. It plays games with you. This time we're really going to break. Nope. And then what do people think? This time we're really going to break out higher. Nope, most likely not. You got over a 90% case that you're just going to stay within the range, okay, and come back down. And if that's the case, get ready, okay, because we will be making money on this trade soon. And so it's setups like these that you just have to understand, yeah, of course you can lose. Accept that, okay? If you can accept the loss, then you are going to be able to accept some hefty rewards as well. All right, guys, so hopefully that process makes sense, and check back in with you in just a second. So guys, look, okay, nothing is set in stone, nothing is final yet, but what do you notice is happening so far, right? We're getting resistance at the top of this range, right? And so the maximum we've seen this range go to is up to here, right? So we do need to be prepared. What, you know, you will see this happen sometimes. Is so, okay, it'll respect the range for now. It'll dip, and it could surprise your ass and come right back up before actually making the real dip. So you got to be careful. All right, but see how Bitcoin is holding within the range. Well, guess what's happening to Ether? Boom, reversing. Because why? Because all these things are correlated. So when Bitcoin respects its range, now Ethereum knows to stay in its lane, or I guess come back to reality here. And so now you see what? Right? Bitcoin starts reversing, so does Ether, and now that $10,000 loss is now like at 5,300, 5,200. Right, and what did I tell you? If Bitcoin respects range, comes back down, we should see Ether, drop substantially. And so it pays to not be emotional, right? Because if you're emotional and you just closed out at a $12,000 loss that we were just at up here, you just cost yourself $7,000, right? Whereas if you contain your emotions, stay logical, stay reasonable, then you're going to be able to make way, 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 way better decisions. And you can see, what does it start doing? It starts dumping, okay? Like I said, still got to be careful. This thing could still come back up and pump to the top of the range. But ultimately, it is respecting it. And, that's exactly what you want to see for your trade thesis here, right? And so that's been our trade thesis, is it'll stay within the range. And if that happens, we should see Ethereum head back lower. And so, guys, waking up this morning, I've absolutely nailed it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to re-roll a couple of these clips just so you can see how spot on this was. Okay, so we're making 22,000 here. All right, I'm going to re-roll this clip. So we could set something like this right here, the all-time high, and then this could be the lower high somewhere around here, and then we can head much, much, much lower. And so what do you see, guys? Exactly as I was thinking. Boom, and then that lower high, right? And then the other thing, I'm actually going to re-roll this clip so you can see, is back to this chart, right, the chop zone. And so, okay, it'll respect the range for now. It'll dip, and it could surprise your ass and come right back up before actually making the real dip. So you got to be careful. And so, guys, what do you notice? What does it do? It comes back up. I said, look, you got to be careful. That thing can pop right back up and then come back for the real dip, right? So we nailed it again, okay? And so what we're expecting now at this point is, now that we've broken out of that range, well, now we just retested that range. So far, we are using as resistance, okay? You do need to be careful. This is actually one of my least favorite things to deal with as a trader, is when you break below range and then it comes back in. Like, that is so annoying, right? Because you want to see it just actually respect the range and stay out of it now, okay? And so assuming we don't pull off this stupid pattern of coming back into the range, then this should be easy pickings, okay? Because we should retest, we should hold below. The only thing, like I said, this is probably the most annoying thing you can deal with as a trader, is if this thing wants to be a fucking just an asshole and come back in. I mean, that is the worst thing. I hate it, but it is part of the game. So we do need to be ready for that. But otherwise, guys, that could be the hardest part of the trade behind us, was being down initially $10,000, $12,000 here, right? But once again, when you know how to read the charts, that's how you stay calm and collected through those times. So instead of cutting a $12,000 loss, you're over here making $22,000, $30,000. You see what I mean? That's a huge difference, okay? Just think about your returns over a year. I mean, imagine how much more you're going to make when you know how to read charts instead of freaking out and selling for a loss. Look at this, right? When we were down $12,000, if I would have panicked, I would have literally sold at the top for a $12,000 loss. Thank God we know how to read charts, right? And so here's the thing about charts, man, is it's just like reading a book. Okay, there are times where a book may fly over your head, right? Meaning like the meaning behind the book. Like you may not understand the book sometimes, but at the end of the day, if it's written in English, that's your fault that you don't understand the book. It's the same thing with charts. Okay, charts are going to tell you what you need to know, and you have to know how to interpret that correctly, right? And so, clearly we interpret that correctly. Clearly, we understood the language. We understood the story it was trying to paint us in the picture that is there now. So, guys, if you haven't taken our charts course, I mean, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Crash Trading Charts course at crashtrading.com. Guys, I'll be real with you. I know nobody wants to take a fucking course. And that's why nobody's fucking good at this. Okay, because nobody dedicates any time to actually learning how to fucking read charts. And here's the thing that I always get is everyone thinks they know how to read charts, okay? These same people who tell me they know how to read charts are the same people that cut for $12,000 losses at the absolute fucking top and peak. But now, it's probably so surface level. It's probably so basic, man, what everyone shows you, right? I mean, how many TA YouTubers are there out there, but how many of them actually trade? I tell you what, 90% of these TA guys you see out there, they don't actually trade. They just draw fucking lines and they have like a good commentary voice for YouTube videos. That's just the truth, guys. And I keep it real with you. So, you can think you know what you're doing by drawing support and resistance, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's the most basic shit. At the end of the day, man, if you're not putting together trades consistently like you see us do on this channel, then you definitely need a lot of learning to do in the charts reading department, okay? So, like I said, we're holding beneath so far. Let's just, basically, we just need to make sure that it doesn't come back in. If it does, it's an annoying fucking trade. And, I'll probably close it. But that being said, this holds, this goes smoothly, then it should be, a ride back down here. And we should see our profits actually get up to, 30,000, 40,000 here. So, yeah, guys, I'll keep you up to date on this trade. Let's actually just do a quick measurement of profits. Oh, and actually, one thing you'll notice is I took a partial loss at the top because I wanted to reduce my risk before going to sleep, and then I lowered the leverage, okay? And then key point with the partial loss I booked, I didn't book it at the top. I booked that partial loss when we pulled back some, okay? So once we pulled back, took the partial loss, flipped the leverage, and then went to sleep, all right? So there we go, guys. All right, now at 25,000 in profit. And looking good here. Look at Bitcoin rejecting so far. Like I said, it's too early to celebrate. It absolutely can test us. It absolutely can try to piss us off here. So you just got to be ready for that. But, let's let you skip that part of the trade. And let's let you get to the meat of this. All right, so let's do it. All right, so guys, I am going to go ahead and take profit on a third of the position because I don't think the volume is crazy strong, and this little formation here below the thing, it does give me a little bit of a fishy feel, so that's why I'm going to get out with just a little right here. Let's see here. All right, so the plan is to sell a third of the contracts or close a third, right? Book some profits, and then, like I said, because this gives me fishy feelings. Whenever you see a break and it just there's a possibility, right? I still expect us to go lower. Otherwise, I wouldn't be holding, right? But there's always a possibility that it does some bullshit, all right? Comes back in. All right, so that's why I'm closing a third there. And then we should be good to go. All right, so it does look like we're going to get a smooth trade. I'm thinking so far, I mean, it's going pretty smoothly, right? And so good, fine, that's fine. We took a third of the profits out. And the rest, guys, this we can let sit easily, right? And so let me show you what's up here with Ether. Let's go out to this chart, and let's see here. You can see we are dancing at the edge of the cliff right now in this uptrend in Ether. If we officially break this trend, I'll probably be riding this short down to 4,000 points if we really do break it, which there's a very good chance of that. Why? Well, because look at the volume, right? It's a different dip. You cannot compare this dip to these dips, right? All these dips, they did hold up, right? They held up. Why did they hold up? And why is this one not going to hold up most likely? Because the volume, look at the volume. It's much stronger this time that we're dipping. And that's how we know there's an increased probability that it breaks through the trend and falls down to 4,200, 4,000 possibly. Okay, so at this point, guys, this trade could be weeks. This trade could be, 4 days. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep you guys updated and post this here today. Like I said, I'm not saying it's a guarantee we go down to 4,000 or 4,200. I am telling you that we break this trend. There's a very strong possibility of that. And for that reason, this trade could take a while. So let's just say for this trade, we're up $24,000, $23,000 today. And we'll wrap it up there. All right, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's a lot of knowledge bombs. There was a lot of cool things you could learn from. And so if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to drop a like. Make sure you are subscribed. And guys, last time I'll say it, man, if you want to trade profitably, right? Like you want to be a serious trader, okay? It starts with sacrifice. And that sacrifice is taking a course. 90% of people aren't willing to take a course on charts. And that's why 90% of people will never be good at this. Okay, if you do something that's going to separate you from the rest, then you're going to separate yourself in skill as well. Okay, so guys, look, there's two ways you replicate the success you see here. Okay, you can join our coaching program where I tell you exactly when to get in, exactly when to get out. Guys, if you didn't realize, I have members who are in this trade with me right now. Okay, so I even have DJ Khaled in my program, and he just told me then we hit another one. All right, so hope you enjoyed this one, guys. We'll wrap it up there at 26,000 in profit. And I hope that if you're serious and you want to become a trader or you want to trade profitably and make money when the market's falling, right? What is everyone doing right now? They're all losing money when the market drops. Okay, we're making money when the market drops, and we invest and we hold long term as well. But the good thing is, yes, we can hold long term. We can also make money when the market's dropping. So it's just a big bonus, guys. All right. So I hope if you're serious, you'll join us here at crashtrading.com. And I look forward to trading with you, man. So I'll see you on the flip side. 27,000 here and counting. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.